The health and nutrition industry is expected to be one of the largest benefiters of cannabis in the form of Ayurveda. And in the fourth episode of The Cannabis Economy, we are joined by Abhishek Mohan, the founder of Hemp Street, a company dedicated to providing health services through cannabis products.
So I think there's two things that happen when there's an emerging industry, right? There's one, and especially when it's kind of kind of a semi-legal environment. In the case that it's legal in Ayurveda, but the whole world is talking about so much other stuff, and the very fact that India had it completely legal to 1985 and everything. So the vertical integration is because we are squarely focused on the long haul, the long game, right? So essentially, in an industry where things are just starting off, there's two ways of going about it. One is you can find the fastest way of making money, which is trying to push CBD or trying to, kind of do some kind of an import business or trying to look at the lowest hanging fruit. But in our case, we want to build an institution. So we want to be involved. I'm not saying we're doing everything, but we are partnering with the best in everything because we want to build an institution where we won't have a crutch on research or on distribution or on any other part of the business. I mean, there's a chance to build an institution, and that's what we're doing. Yeah, so the public knowledge that is around, it's publicly known that we work with CSIR, which is the apex body for research in India, especially on cannabis. Brilliant people. And we're working very closely with them on several projects around pain relief, around various ailments. Also around research on the farming side of things. There's a long way to go if you want to build a robust kind of industry, because we're all kind of small players starting off. We have to so CSR on the research, we're talking to various other parties around the world on research as well, but CSR is our primary partner. So we're looking at, research is in different parts. One is, a lot of the Indian raw material is wild sourced, and it's from the excise department. There's no strain kind of, the Western kind of strain-based cultivation that, it's whatever's out there. So I think there's a lot of research to be done on indigenous strains, on kind of bringing back some of those indigenous strains and looking at, their composition and how they can be applied. The second is looking at various formulations of medication that we can provide. And the third is forward-looking research on, more Western style of medication. We're looking at India becoming a hub of not just exporting Ayurveda products, not just serving the local market, which is hugely underserved for pain relief, but also trying to create world-class products. So it's going to be in kind of an all-encompassing. So right now we're looking at research on raw materials, seeing the composition of Indian strains. We're looking at research on particular ailments like epilepsy, Alzheimer's. We're looking at research on medication for sleep, anxiety, appetite, and then in the near future, cancer related as well. So that's, research is ailment based, raw material based, and then also to create world products. Before we even put the first dollar into research or started product development, we made sure we had the distribution in place. Now, I'm not at the liberty to tell you the deal, the terms of the agreement, but it's an exclusive relationship that we have with our partner, with that network. So essentially, we first studied. I've been looking at cannabis for quite a long time, also abroad and India as well. And we first looked at what ailments. We looked at the regulatory environment. Ayurveda was the only way. We looked at the ailments, which is pain relief. And me and my co-founder and our backers were severely shocked by the opioid crisis in the US. I've been to the US a few times, and you know exactly what can go wrong with pain relief, right? So with the opioid crisis. Now, so given that, we figured out that distribution was key. Everybody knew what medication. We knew what regulatory environment. So instead of trying to change the regulations, we saw what the problem was, which is pain relief, and we found a partner who we could would access his network through, and then we had an exclusive relationship. We don't want to, like I said, we don't want to be big agri. We don't want to be able to farm. 85% of Indian farmers have less than 3 hectares. Okay, and they're not going to. I mean, rice is not going to make you the money to put your kids to school. So I think there's a chance to provide a cash crop. We're happy to provide any technological help that we can provide to the excise, to the government, who will provide it to the farmers. We're not looking at, and then eventually they could. I mean, we do work with CSR. They have a research farm, and for R&D, there's enough and more leeway given for R&D farming. But in terms of mass farming, yes, we want to bring technology to make the ecosystem better. That's all. That's all. Nothing else. For example, in Germany, to a certain extent, Ayurveda is recognized. So it is in Japan, in Hungary, in many countries. And see, the thing about Japan is an almost insane market if you're talking about cannabis, because it's zero. It's not allowed. Even CBD in Japan has to be 0% THC, and from stem, I don't know how that happens. But so Japan is the other extreme there. But general Ayurveda in Japan is on the rise. I mean, immunity and single herb capsules, tulsi, all that stuff is on the rise. In Germany, cannabis is legal, very legal. So and in Germany, if you and Ayurveda is also recognized. So these are definitely markets that will follow. But again, see, for us, India is just, our own network has about 36 million patients that go through it. Now, just serving the Indian pain relief market or Indian Ayurvedic market is such a huge task, right? So Ayurveda is on the rise all over the world. If you look at the west coast of the US, if you look at California, for example, Ayurveda is rising. So definitely, if you look at how yoga is being practiced in Japan and all over the world, the soft diplomacy has already been done. And people are coming around to Ayurveda. It's just that we had to find our own in terms of research, in terms of they need to know that manufacturing is on par. But we've done that in genetic medicine. Everybody knows India is capable of doing it. So it's a matter of time. I don't think Ayurveda is very far away from being a global phenomenon. It already is. COVID has made Ayurveda go through the roof, right? So we've seen Ayurveda networks their demand and traffic's gone up like 600-700% during the period. See, people are falling back on now changing their lifestyle. See, the people with COVID, I think, I'm not a doctor, so but people have become more aware of living healthy on a daily basis. These quick cures have not solved your problem, right? For example, in America, even the chronically ill are kind of wealthy, so they don't realize that they are high risk category. So you have a wealthy person that's as an insane diabetic, but because he can afford to manage it, it's only during COVID or he has some other ailment, but he's managing it well because he's wealthy. When that's happened, COVID comes and then takes you out, right? Basically making you aware that you are actually unhealthy, but you're well off, and you survive on the normal course. When something new comes, you are a high risk group. So people are now much more around the world focused on wellness, which is an ongoing thing. And Ayurveda is that. So again, Ayurveda should not have to compete with allopathy. There are many things in allopathy that are required. There is that it's us versus them kind of thing is just not, it's not a reality. It's a coexistence. Like if I had an accident and my arm fell off, I'm going to call 911 and go get my arm reattached. I'm not going to put haldi on it or whatever, But Ayurveda, on the other hand, from a wellness perspective, from an ongoing lifestyle perspective, is amazing. So and for certain ailments, it's an amazing cure. But nobody's playbook is it written that it's an either or.